Bilingualism is closely related to the phenomenon of language acquisition, the particular way in which we all learn our native language as children. We acquire the skill, and even if we have to work on our writing, speaking seems as natural as breathing. Scientists claim that language acquisition is a process that starts at the beginning of our lives and ends around puberty.
The role of governments in environmental management is difficult but inescapable. Sometimes, the state tries to manage the resources it owns and does so badly. Often, however, governments act in an even more harmful way. They actually subsidize the exploitation and consumption of natural resources. A whole range of policies, from farm price support to protection for coal mining, do environmental damage and, often, make no economic sense. Scrapping them offers a twofold bonus: a cleaner environment and a more efficient economy. Growth and environmentalism can actually go hand in hand if politicians have the courage to confront the vested interests that subsidies create.
Traditional means of electricity generation using coal or oil-fueled plants have two major drawbacks. They pollute the environment, and the fuels they use are inefficient and non-renewable. In response to growing environmental awareness, there have been calls for a greener alternative. Nuclear power, while more efficient and less polluting, is seen by many people as unacceptable because of the danger of accidents such as those that happened at Chernobyl or 3 Mile Island. Wind power, however, is clean, renewable, and, with modern advances, surprisingly efficient.
According to the Oxford Dictionary, to translate is to express the sense in or into another language. But what is the sense really? Translating a piece of writing is not just a question of picking up the foreign language dictionary and substituting one set of words for another. Although it represents the substitution of a set of words from one lexicon for those from another, it is ultimately a form of communication, concerned, as Peter Newmark says, with transmitting culture and truth. For this reason, a translation should only be attempted after the translator has carefully studied the whole text and asked himself a number of questions.
Most people have heard of Einstein's formula, E equals mc squared, but what does it mean? In fact, it is a description of how mass is converted into energy, and it is this energy which powers the stars, including our own Sunday. If we can reproduce this process on Earth, we will have an infinite source of energy which does not rely on fossil fuels such as coal, gas, or oil. One source of fuel for nuclear fusion is deuterium, which is a type of hydrogen found in ordinary water.
After the Titanic sank, investigations were held in both Washington and London. In the end, both inquiries decided that no one could be blamed for the sinking. However, they did address the fundamental safety issues which had contributed to the enormous loss of life. As a result, international agreements were drawn up to improve safety procedures at sea. The new regulations covered 24-hour wireless operation, crew training, proper lifeboat drills, lifeboat capacity for all on board, and the creation of an international ice patrol.
A more recent study by researchers at the University of California at San Francisco, UCSF, has shown that secondhand cigarette smoke does more harm to non-smokers than to smokers. Leaving aside the philosophical question of whether anyone should have to breathe someone else's cigarette smoke, the report suggests that the smoke experienced by many people in their daily lives is enough to produce substantial adverse effects on a person's heart and lungs.
In our region, many crops are grown. For example, one would find all kinds of vegetables in the fields of this region. In addition, many farmers have orchards. Here they grow many kinds of fruit like apples, pears, and peaches. Lastly, it is important to note that it is not known for its agriculture. It is better known as an industrial city. For example, here are many heavy industries manufacturing anything from aircraft and automobiles to machine tools.
It is a sad fact of life that crime is everywhere, in cities, in suburbs, in country towns, committed by the poor, the desperate, the greedy, and yes, by the rich too. We must accept that the level of crime in society is inversely proportional to the vigilance with which we fight it. Policing the streets and chasing criminals is just part of the solution. The police can only do so much to prevent crime. It is up to every individual to make the difference. And there is plenty that you and I can do.
Named after an ex-governor of New South Wales, Sydney is the state's capital city. Located on the south-east coast of Australia in the temperate zone, it enjoys a mild climate, averaging 14.5 hours of sunshine per day in summer and 10.25 hours in winter. It is also the largest, oldest, and perhaps most beautifully situated city in Australia. First established by the British as a convict settlement in 1788, it is a modern cosmopolitan city that has developed into one of the nation's major industrial, business, and manufacturing centers.